G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. A fixed wing Friday filmed on Sunday. Why on Sunday? Well, this weekend we've had model jets here, so I couldn't fly anything until today. But I've got this and I've flown it today. What have I got? Well, I've got this. It's the mini RaceWing. Which way around do I hold it? This way. Here you go, so you can read the writing. Mini RaceWing. I already did an intro to this, a start to this, in which I looked at it and I mentioned that there were many things I had to fix or change because this was an early prototype. So I had to rehinge the elevon to get enough throw on this side. Yes, on this side, had to rehinge that to get enough throw. I had to throw out the motor that they sent me, the DYS, because honestly, that screw, as I assumed, as I thought, the screw poking out the side, it vibrated so badly it would have ripped the motor mount out of the plane, just complete useless. So I put a Sunny Sky 2207 2100 kV motor on here. Now I used the same motor on the S800 Shadow Wing, which I reviewed recently from Banggood. So it's going to be a very interesting comparison of the speed of this wing versus the speed of the Shadow Wing. They're pretty similar size, much thinner section on this one, with the same powertrain. It'll be interesting to see if it's that much faster, because really there's a bit of frontal drag from this camera and the battery, which may cause an issue. I've got a 6x5 propeller on there, which is the same. No, it's actually a slightly bigger prop than I'm using on the Shadow Wing. I think I'm using a 5.5 on the Shadow Wing. So, no, was I? Can't remember. Anyway, go back and look at the video. You'll find out. So there you go. Altogether, you can see it's got the little sections here holding the wing rods so that the wings should come off in the event of a crash. It was a pretty straightforward build. I've got my camera in here. I've got an HS1177. I've got the Hobby King. What is it? I think it's the Elite or the Turnigy Elite or something like that. A video transmitter, 200 milliwatts FPV transmitter, 5.8 gigahertz. I've got a FreeSky receiver in there. What did I use? Oh, it's the L9R, and here are the antennas for the L9R. I used an L9R because if this flies really good FPV, I will probably do some, what would you call it? Limits of visual sight operations. Not beyond, just the limits of visual sight. 30 amp ESC, it's actually a mini quad ESC, it's a RotorGeeks ESC. These work really well. One of the reasons I chose this was because it does have braking and also because it has over temperature protection. So if I'm running this combo too hard, this ESC won't burn out, it will shut down, which is really handy when you're sort of trying something new. Now I've got a 1300 4-cell Turnigy Nanotech battery on here. The CG is in the place specified on the plan, which is 150 or 140 mils, can't remember, from the leading edge of the wing, so it's dead on. Got an Aomway transmitter antenna here, but the 4-leaf circularly polarized antenna. So she's all good to go. I mean, it should be just simple. I've got some Turnigy metal geared, or Hobby King metal geared servos in the wing because I just want the extra durability metal gears offer. So there you go. It's time now to take it out and see if it flies. Needs a bit of down trim. Still needs down trim. Needs a lot of down trim. It's a bit better. I'm just trying to get the trim sorted first. I think the CG is a bit far back actually, it feels like it's a bit far back. Needs a bit of left trim. Get a bit closer with the trim. Needs lots of left trim, I've got to say. It's reasonably quick, isn't it? Yeah. Considering it's only got a little motor. Oh, I'd like the CG further forward actually, it feels tail heavy. Could do. See, it's not actually very stable in pitch at the moment. It's actually requiring quite a bit of work to keep it level. So
Bring it in, we'll move the battery back.
forward, yeah. Okay, we'll bring it in. Is Tim clear of the runway?
Yep, it's right here beside me.
Whoa, that was a bit of an abrupt landing. Yeah, I think I got too much expo in the elevators too. And here we go, this is a good example. Look, that was a hard landing, and you see the wings here have started to come away as they are designed to. So that, yeah, that was alright. Yeah, let's see what the DVR footage is like. Yeah, CG needs to be forward definitely. It was feeling very tail heavy on that flight. But we can change that and try it again later. So there we go, we flew it, it flies. I noticed I had to use a lot of down trim. I set the elevon trim as per the manual, which I think was 2mm of reflex, but on landing I noticed that this one is actually level, almost level, maybe even down a bit with the wing. This one's up a bit, so I've got a lot of left trim and a lot of down trim. You probably heard me in that video clicking away on the trims. So it's virtually got no reflex on this side of the wing, and it's got more than specified on this side. So that's to counter the torque, I suppose, of the motor that's trying to turn it the other way. But it felt very tail heavy with the CG in the recommended position, which is pretty much under the spar. Very tail heavy. It wanted to tuck when I was doing high speed runs, and it would balloon up a bit at the end. So yeah, I'm going to fly it again. I'm going to put the battery, a bigger battery perhaps, and I'll move it a bit further forward. Just bring that CG forward by maybe 10mm and see how that works. I have a feeling, just doesn't feel quite right. And I'll fly at FPV next time, but I've run out of time because all my observers have gone home. It's the end of a very long day of filming jets and so forth. So yeah, more to come. But initially, my thoughts on this are, on the landing, as you saw, the wing system worked very well. The wings came off partially, pushed back in very easily. So on a hard crash, I'm sure these will pop off and save a lot of damage, potential damage to the wing. It certainly seems to be about the same speed as the Shadow S800, which, okay, same powertrain, but I would have hoped it would be faster with this thinner section, but it didn't seem to be faster. Maybe with a more powerful motor, it will go faster. I think maybe quite often you find with aircraft they hit a wall, depending on the drag profile. With the same low amount of power, two aircraft might fly very much the same speed, but when you double the power, one will go a lot faster, one won't, because they hit a drag wall. Drag increases as the square of the velocity. So if you've got a lot of drag in an aircraft, the faster you go, the more effect that drag has, and it's not linear, it's a curve. So I'm thinking that this is a very low drag profile, but with the low power we're using, we're not getting close to its full potential. So I will have to find a more powerful motor to put on here. I've got 100 amp ESC, and I've got some 1.8 4-cell 65C batteries, so I can certainly ramp up the power if I need to. I just have to find a motor that I can put on here and do that with. That'll be coming up. And of course I'm going to fly FPV as well, but I'm going to sort that CG first, because it wouldn't be pleasant to fly FPV with that CG where it is on this particular unit, because a flying wing should have a certain amount of reflex, and as I say, this one, there's no reflex there. In fact, it's actually slightly down, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, no, it may have moved a little bit, but when I came down, this was actually slightly down, so it was a reverse reflex on here. It had a camber to it, which is not good, and explains probably why it was tending to tuck. There you go. That's enough waffling from me. So it flies. It flies quite nicely, given the limitations or the issues that I've raised. I will be flying at FPV next time, and there'll be a follow-up to this very shortly. Hopefully I'll get some flying done during the week. Weather looks crap again. Look, I've got my winter shirt on again. There were people wearing jackets all over the place today in the middle of summer here in Tokoroa, New Zealand, because it was so damn cold. Everyone's bitching about the cold weather. So, to be in Australia with a 45 degrees Celsius heat wave. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, usual place. In the meantime, bye for now.